Good morning, my dear students. Today we are going to revise the second chapter of statistics, that is collection of data. First of all, let us know the sources of data collection. There are generally two sources of data collection. The first is primary sources and the second is secondary sources. Primary sources of data implies collection of data from its source of origin, means we are collecting data from the informants about which we need to collect the information. It offers you the first-hand quantitative information relating to your statistical study. It is the very first-hand information which we collect for the very first time. So that's why it is also known as the primary source of data or the first-hand information. Secondary sources of data implies collection of data from some agency or institution which already happens to have collected the data through statistical surveys. Means when we collect data from a person or institution who have already collected that information which we need, then that particular source will be known as secondary source of data. It does not offer this first hand information because it have already been collected. Now we are collecting it for the second time. So we have to rely on the information which already exists with that particular agency or institution. So basically when we collect data from its source of origin, means when we basically collect the data from the informants about whom we have to collect it, then it is primary source of data. But when we collect information from an agency or institution who already have that information, then it becomes secondary source of data. Now, based upon this classification, we have two types of data, primary data and secondary data. Primary data are the data collected by the investigator for his own purpose for the very first time from beginning to end. These are collected from the source of origin, therefore they are also called original data. Means when we are collecting the data for the very first time from its very source of origin, that is from the informants about whom we have to collect the data, then it's original data or said to be a primary data. Secondary data, the data collected by other persons are called secondary data, means which have already been collected by some other person and we are just using that data for our purpose. It is also termed as second hand data because it is already collected. We are collecting it for the second time from the person who already collected it. Since these data have already been collected by somebody else, therefore they are available either in the form of published or unpublished report. Means the agency which have already collected that data, either that agency have published the data or have not published the data kept for its self-use. Now there are four methods of collecting data. The first is direct personal investigation method, second indirect oral investigation method, third information from local sources and correspondents, and fourth information through questionnaires. All these four methods we're gonna do their meaning, suitability, merits and demerits one by one. The first one is direct personal investigation. Under this method, the investigator establishes a direct relation with the person from whom the information is to be obtained. Means the information of the person whom the investigator wants to investigate, the investigator goes to him directly and establish a direct relation. This method is suitable particularly when the field of investigation is so small that it is possible for the investigator to go to each and every person. When original data is required, means you won't have the data from the source of origin. Third, when the direct informant with the direct contact with the informant is needed, means for collection of data or for the accuracy level, you need to directly contact to the informant. When you have to keep the information secret, means nobody should know that information, then only investigator should talk with the informant. And last is more accurate data is needed. When you need highly accurate data, means you want the data related to the informant which is highly accurate, so it can be given only by the informant himself. There are the merits and demerits of this method. The merits of this method are high degree of original data, means original data is obtained here. Data are fairly accurate because these are the information given by the informant himself. Data is more reliable. And fourth, data is highly uniform, means same type of data will be collected from each and every unit. Demerits are not suitable for large investigation because in large areas it is not possible for investigator to go to each and every informant personally. Second, investigator may be biased, means investigator can use biasness over here, and it is a very costly method because we have to go to each and every informant. Also, it is a very time consuming process. Going to each and every informant is a very time consuming process. Clear? Next method is indirect oral investigation method. In this method, data is not collected from the persons regarding whom the information is needed, but it is collected from other persons orally. Those persons are known as witnesses, who are expected to possess the necessary information. Like for example, our neighbors having some information about us. This method is suitable when there is large field of investigation and it is not possible to have a direct contact with the concerned informants. The concerned informants are not capable of giving information because of their ignorance or illiteracy, and the complex nature of investigation that only expert can give the information. For example, our medical health can be explained good or in a better way by our doctor. The merits of this method is it even covers the large field of investigation. It is less expensive as compared to direct personal investigation. Expert opinion is also available through this method, and it is the simple method. Its demerits are data collected is less accurate because information is not given by the informant himself. Personal biasness of the witnesses may be there, and third, it can give doubtful conclusions due to carelessness of witness. The next third method is information from local sources or correspondents. Under this method, the investigator appoints a local person or correspondents in the area of investigation and then collect data from those correspondents. This method is suitable when large field of investigation means more areas are to be covered. Continuous and regular information is needed, and the information is to be used by magazine, radio, TV, etc. The merits of this method are it covers wide area, continuous information on regular time intervals can be collected, and it is suitable for special purposes, for example to correct price quotations of various grain market at one time. Demerits are not high degree of original data because no personal contact with the informant under this method. Correspondents may be biased and there will be delay in collection of data. Next method is information through questionnaire. Under this method, a questionnaire or a form containing various questions is prepared containing the questions related with the purpose of inquiry, and then it is sent to the informants by mail or taken by enumerator himself to the informants. So the two method can be used here. First is mailing method and another is enumerator's method. Let's discuss the first method, that is mailing method. Under this method, the questionnaire is mailed to the informants with the request to fill it and return it. A letter is attached to this questionnaire stating the purpose of inquiry and assurance that information will be kept secret. This method is suitable when area of investigation is large and informants are educated, means they can read and write. Merit of this method is economical method as it saves money and time. Original data is obtained because informant himself provide the information, and it has a wide coverage as can be sent to large number of informant at the same time. Demerits of this method are informants may not be interested in filling up the questionnaire. Generally, they do not show interest in filling up the written information. Cannot be used if informant is uneducated, and informant may not fill the complete questionnaire and hence incomplete data is received. Second method under the questionnaire method is enumerator's method. Under this, the enumerator means a person is appointed by the investigator. He himself approaches the informant with the questionnaire and fills the data by asking questions from the informants. Such questionnaires, which is filled by enumerators by asking question, is known as schedules. This method is suitable when area of investigation is large, specialized and skilled enumerators are required, and enumerators are well versed with the local language and culture. Merits of this method are: can be used even when informant is uneducated, complete information will be received, and accurate information will be filled up. Demerits are: it's expensive as trained enumerators are required. Competent enumerators may not be available. It is a very time consuming method as training should be given to an enumerator first. In a questionnaire, various types of questions can be used. So different types of question are: first is simple alternate questions, in which answer is to be given in simple yes or no, right or wrong, true or false. Next is multiple choice question, where many choices are available and one correct option is to be ticked. Specific information question, where information is to be given in one word or sentence. And last is open questions, in which informant is asked to give his views or opinion on a specific issues. Qualities of a good questionnaire. A good questionnaire must possess the following qualities. First is limited number of questions should be there. The language of the question should be simple. No undesirable question should be there in the questionnaire. And instruction should be given to fill the form. And before sending the questionnaire to all the participants, a pre-testing pilot survey should be done, in which that questionnaire should be sent to only limited number of persons, and based upon their response then it should be sent to the other audiences or other informants. And lastly, a request to return the questionnaire should be written within the questionnaire, so that the informant fill up the questionnaire and return it to the investigator. Now the sources of secondary data. Secondary data can be obtained by published or unpublished sources. Published sources which are made public by publishing the data in newspaper, magazine, reports, etc. And unpublished sources which have not published yet and kept by the collecting agency for its self-use or office record. Means it is not been published anywhere in any newspaper or magazine. Published sources. Among these, the first is government publications, means which is published by Ministry of Central and State Government regarding various activities. For example, in India, Statistical Abstract of India is used, Reserve Bank of India Bulletin. Reports of committees and commission, which is published by committees appointed by the government. For example, the reports of Finance Commission, Planning Commission, they supply us a detailed statistical information about their working. Next is publication of trade associations like Sugar Mills Association publish information regarding sugar mills in India. Fourth is journals and newspapers, which includes the newspapers like Economic Times and the magazines like Commerce, Facts for You, etc. They supply various types of statistical information. Fifth is international publication, means publication of international organizations like World Health Organization, International Monetary Fund, World Bank, etc. The two important sources of secondary data in India is Census of India and reports of NSSO. Census of India is a decennial publication, means it is published in every 10 years. It is published by Registrar General and Census Commissioner of India. It is a comprehensive inquiry on population size and its related parameters. It includes statistical information on the parameters like size and growth, rate of population in India, population projection, density of population, state of literacy, male and female composition in India. Reports of NSSO. NSSO means National Sample Survey Organization, is a government organization under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. It provides data on the following parameter: land and livestock holdings, housing condition and data on migrations, employment and unemployment status in India, consumer expenditure in India, and sources of household income in India. So this is all about this chapter, collection of data. Any doubt, any query, students, please ask. Thank you so much.